All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fanyana Live, where we inspire, we motivate, we encourage, and we speak nothing but love. On today, we have our brother Marion Obefemi, and he is a local author. He is a playwright. He's a man of God, and he has a book now that's called "He Inspired Me," and I'm already inspired. I'm already inspired. Just you being here, yes, your presence alone. You've done so much in the community, and I just want you to tell the people exactly what your book is about.
Well, actually, this is a book. He Inspired Me. It's an acronym, HIM. It really denotes my life and the life of a lot of men like me and young boys and even girls who didn't have their father in their life.
Wow.
And didn't know how to process that pain. So it became anger, it became frustration, it became blame. But I was able to take that energy that I had, the negativity and the energy that was hurting me and the pain, and make it work for my good. As the word said, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and call according to his purpose.
Yes.
Okay, so I was able to take that pain, and if I'm doing anything in the community that's good or whatever, it's because I made a promise to my 8-year-old self that I wasn't going to be the man that my father was. So I was able to take what he did wrong, and now I'm trying to make it right.
Okay.
So you can take negative energy and be inspired by negativity.
Okay.
Not always something that's positive. There was something that was negative. But I was able to take that negative and make it work for my good by doing other than what he did. I did opposite what he did wrong, but now I'm trying to make it right.
And so you're making it right within yourself, and you're also making it right with God.
Yeah. Definitely, because not having an earthly father, at some point you get introduced to a spiritual father. You know, that you can link to, as Jesus is our greatest example. He said, our Father. Okay, meaning that he's our Father as well, not our physical father. But if you notice in Jesus' life, you never heard about Joseph taking them fishing.
That's right.
You never read about Joseph teaching him how to be a carpenter like he was.
That's right.
He really was never mentioned as to him having a connection with his earthly father until he was one with the spiritual father.
That's right.
So in the end of the book, I introduced that concept to those who didn't have a physical father. There's a spiritual father you can link to and become as powerful and as influential as Jesus was. Access that same power that Jesus tapped into, and you can become who you were destined to be, even if your father wasn't there physically. And this came from an experience I had in church. This young man, he was about 8 years old. He was going to take the chair and become a part of the church. And the pastor said, well, you got anything you want to say? He said, I want Jesus to be my dad.
Wow.
And I wrote a poem about that. I'm going to share this poem in the book.
Okay.
As to how you can link to your spiritual father. Let him be your father to become the physical man that you really were designed to be.
So let me ask you this quick question. My husband is an educator. He works in Monroe City Schools. He's on the school board, and he's come to me several times sharing with how much he's been disrespected as a man with the young boys that are in the school system.
Right.
And I've seen it firsthand at different schools. But what would you say, and I know it's already in the book, but what would you say to the people right now that are having issues, especially these mothers that have problems with their sons? You know, they're uncontrollable. We have a lot of violence that's going on in the city. A lot of death is happening.
Right.
And the excuse that everybody is using is because I don't have a father. Now, I understand that we have many, we have a lack of many fathers, but I really don't think that's an excuse. What do you really think the problem is? Is it the fact that they did not have a father, or would it be the choices that they made? Because we got a choice in life.
Right.
So what do you think that is, and how can we flip this around and change this, the standard that we have right now in the school system? How can we change it to where our young men are being more respectful? Because I think we need some more effective leadership, and with men like you in the community, I think we can do it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, actually, it's just a matter of them not knowing how to process the pain. Okay. They're hurting.
Okay.
They're crushed. They're broken. Really what they're doing, they're really striking out at their father. When they see those male teachers, he's a father figure that wasn't there. You see, so he's really acting out on his father because his father's not there for him to feel the lash of his pain. Say, listen, man, you hurt me. There's a hole in my heart and look just like you. Yeah. So when I see people like Rick or any other teachers or administrators, I'm looking at my dad. Okay, so I'm trying to make him feel the pain that I feel. So since he's not there, I'm going to let this teacher get some grief from what I feel for my father. it's really misdirected. It's really not channeling the proper direction. Okay. But in this book, you're going to learn how to take that same energy, that same pain, that same anger, and direct that same energy and pain and anger to something else to make you a better person. Listen, I refuse to be like he was.
That's right.
That's my whole goal in life, not to repeat what he did. I'm going to show him something, so to speak. Right? And that's the only way they know how to process their pain is doing what they see others do. Right? So they're repeating what they've seen. They don't know there's an alternative way to process their experience other than, you know, being mad, you know, blaming him, using it as a crutch as to you had no dad. Well, most of us did.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
But they never knew another alternative means of looking at that energy and that pain to process and make it a positive. You know, as the book said, you know, what was meant for my bad, it may work for my good.
That's right.
How can it work for your good, something as bad as this? This book going to teach and show us how we can do that. There's a lot of mothers, as you said, have young men. They don't know what to do with it.
They don't know what to do.
They got husbands who's broke, don't know how to be a man, don't know how to love them as a wife, don't know how to love the children as a father because they didn't have no one to do it for them.
That's right.
But if you see what he did wrong and do opposite what he did wrong, you'll get it right. So this book is a step-by-step process, not a long, drawn-out book. It's called The Little Green Book.
The Little Green Book.
A pocket book.
That's all it is.
That you can take with you and look at and access information so you can have an alternative approach to a common issue that we all are experiencing on one level or the other. So I'm excited to be able to share it. And another thing, we're not bashing the man.
That's right.
We're not beating, we getting beat enough. We're not beating up the man. You know, we're not placing blame. We're saying there's a reason why we are in this situation. There's a historical perspective you got to frame this in, which is the first chapter is the history. How did we get to this point to where we're like this? There was a concerted effort to put us in this position, and it's working well, even in 2020. Not blaming no one, not trying to have a pity party. When something happened to us, other than other races of people that, you know, didn't go through what we went through. So they may not be as dysfunctional as we are as far as relationships with the father, with the kids, or the father with the wife, because they were intact. They wasn't attacked like we were, right? And then the other chapter is his story. His story. We always heard about that man who left, that man who abandoned, but we never heard from him. We heard about him. What is his perspective on his experience? You know, what is his point of view? You know, a lot of times, you know, we say, well, if my dad was there, you know, I wouldn't have been in this situation. If my dad was there, it would have been this way. Well, it may not have been like you think. Your 8-year-old self would say, well, if my dad was there, I would have been better off. In your mind, that's what you think. It would be that way if your dad was going to be the one that's going to provide properly, that's going to nurture you properly, that's going to love you and your mother right. It would be the right situation. You would be true in saying that. But what if he wasn't like that? Maybe that was the only thing that he was supposed to do was to bring you here. As harsh as it may sound. The first decision that was made about our life was who God was going to use as an agent to bring us here to this realm of reality.
That's what it's all about.
Honor your mother and father. And your days belong on earth.
Right.
It doesn't mean he's perfect. Doesn't mean he was wait, but you got to honor the fact that God made a decision to use that man to be the one to bring you here.
That's right.
So you got to respect God's decision. If you don't respect or love the man, love and respect God who made the decision to use that man.
That's what it's all about.
And you can take that man's life and you can use it as inspiration to do other than what he did, and then you'll be trying to get it right. But it's a struggle. It's a process. And then there's the high story. That means that there's a different approach. We've taken the road of trying to hate him, or trying to, you know, lash out on other men. You know, what about taking another approach to that experience and looking from a higher perspective? You got to forgive that man for your own sake, not for him.
That's right.
He's not worthy, but you're worthy not having this pain and this anger and this weight on you. It's holding you back. And it's like you drinking poison and expecting me to die. That hatred is a poison you're drinking, that you're dealing with. He's okay. He don't even know that you hate him. He don't even care if you hate him.
And you just
he might be dead.
Right.
He might not can ask him for forgiveness. You got to forgive him for your own sake. Then the last chapter is the HIM or the him story. Everyone else has written in your book, but you. What are you going to do now?
Look at that.
What about what you are doing with the pain? Has it consumed you to where you became your dad, the one that you hate so much? Are you the same one that he was? Then how much worse of a person does it make you if you be just the way he was with your kids and he was with you? How do we get out of this kind of cycle? It's a cycle.
It is.
That has to be broken. It's a generational curse, so to speak, that can be broken. I'm doing my best to break it. Other men have done it, which I honor men with the Big Man Award Bank who have broken it, and I got the HIM Award Bank with those who didn't have a father, they still became better men. So, you know, we're not beating up the man. We're just saying, look, brother, those who don't understand how to overcome it, there is a way, man. And another thing I want to say, too, for the women and the women perspective, because there's a perspective that they have, too, when the father's not there. That's a hole in their heart as well. They try to feel with men. And if you know it, subconsciously, they're calling it boyfriend daddy.
They do.
You see, it's a subliminal message. It's an undercurrent psychology behind that. And most men know that, and they manipulate women because of that. So we got to find a way to get the women to say, listen, I got to have some tools to fight against them. And the man come to me, I'll be your daddy.
That's
you know,
right.
Tupac made a record just like daddy.
And sugar daddy.
You see what I'm saying? So it affects women as well who have a hole in their heart.
Yes, it does.
So this book, by God's, you know, permission and grace, will be able to fill that void with some information to where they can try to overcome that and heal from it to the best of our ability and try to be the person we were designed to be. But you got to have a method and a roadmap on how to get out. You'll never get completely healed. I'm not completely healed, but I am making a better effort than he did. Then my kids will make a better effort than I did. Their kids will be better than what they did, so we're going to eventually get it right.
That's right.
It's over 400 years of history that we've suffered through. We never got therapy. We never got counseling.
We didn't.
It's post-traumatic disorders that we have based on that experience. We're dealing with it right now. But we can't address it in this small, humble approach that I'm going to share with the community. It's my way of trying to contribute to changing that narrative. And
you will, indeed. It's already been written. So why don't you share with us, when can we grab a hold of this book and get it in all the household, look, all around the globe? We need this book. We need this book.
Well, it was important to me that, you know, this book wasn't diluted and turned into something that it wasn't. Because I'll be held accountable for that by the higher power. So I didn't go to the big publishing houses. They're going to edit it and, well, this is not it. No, it's got to be the way it was given to me to have the impact. It's like a prescription.
Talk about that now.
It's like a prescription to diagnose a situation.
Yeah.
You got to be pure to be impactful. So it's directly from the source through me to the people. It's a self-published book. And you can go to my Facebook page, my business page, Obefemi, that's Obafemi Productions on Facebook, Obefemi Productions. There's going to be a link on June the 18th.
Okay, y'all keep in mind. Y'all keep what he's saying?
Before Father's Day, we're going to have some positive energy and vibration during that season as opposed to all the negative that we normally would hear from our community about dad not being there. We're going to say, listen, yeah, he may not have been there. But there's a way that we can be there and our future generation can do better than what we've done in the past and try to get this thing right on our watch. So June the 18th it'll be available, and we'll be looking forward to that. And I'm just excited about it. And I thank you all for allowing me to come and share it on this beautiful platform with the Louisiana hot.
Yes. You said something that it just hit my spirit.
Let the spirit guide.
And you were saying that he may have not been there. He may have not been there. I'm going to put that on the shirt. He may not have been there, but God is always our God. Jesus, don't get me started. But God has always been there. He never left your side. So I can't wait for people to get into chapter 1 through 5. Is 1 through 5?
1 through 4.
1 through 4? Okay.
It's not, I don't want to intimidate the reader.
That's right.
I want it to be where an 8-year-old can get it and have access to it, this information.
That's right.
And not be like, I don't want to read. But this is going to be so intriguing. It's going to be so captivating. It's going to be on a level everybody can read and comprehend it, because we don't want to, you know, run them off, because we're not typically accustomed to getting information from a book.
Right.
So that's why I call it the little green book, the pocket book that you can take and have access to some information that can definitely change your life.
You know what, guys? We definitely thank him for being a part of Fanyana Live on today. I hope everybody was inspired. I hope you were able to think about some things that you have been through and get ready, you know, to heal. It's time to heal. That's why this book was written. This is what it's all about, y'all. We have to begin to process the things that we have been through and let the Lord place that healing, anointing, and power that he has and give it to us so we can walk in our, basically our purpose. It's about our destiny. And that's what it's all about. So look, if y'all want to get that book, be sure to contact him, tag and share this video. Also, if you need to contact me, I can also get you in contact with him. Y'all have a blessed day, And we'll see you again.